Hello there. Today is July the 7th, 2023. My name is Delray Cross. I am a poet, and I have a long project called the ANACHRONIZMS, which is filled with poetry, over 4,000 of them, 4,000 poems, and also photographs that usually go with each poem for the latter half of that time period. The time period being the last 21 years I've been writing these things. It's been 21 years. Shortly after I first moved to San Francisco, where I live still. And I have, I keep trying to, at the beginning of every kind of time, I read about a month of these at a time when I do these recordings, and I always try to kind of give an introduction to what I'm doing, and maybe add a few things that I haven't really talked about before. So there is information within these recordings about my project a lot of times, and just about random things. And I am really bad at explaining or trying to relay to you something. I'm much better at reading the poem, and I'm not even that fantastic at that probably. But the point that I was trying to make was I have been writing these things since 2002, probably the summer of 2002, right around there. And I've been posting them where the publication exists, and where the publication will probably continue to exist as long as it can, because it is seemingly the best. It's my book. I mean, I have books, but for this project, and the longest thing that I've ever done, most consistent thing I've worked on over the last 20 some odd years. It is the place, I think, for it to exist, except that I've always wanted to do these recordings to go along with them. So I've been recording, for the last 2-3 years, I've been recording each of the individual poems, of which there are over 4,000. Yes, now. Which means that, and I've actually recorded over 2,000 of them, which is incredible, in the last maybe 2-3 years, especially focusing on the last 7 or 8 months. I've been really doing a lot of it. So it's like kind of and I've also been writing a lot more, especially since the pandemic, or shortly after that. So I basically, whereas I started out writing this as kind of a daily project, but wasn't every day, maybe every weekday. Now it's gotten to where it is, I try to get a poem put up for every day of the month, or at least as many days as there are in a month, never more, in any particular month. So I'm currently working on, this month's poems. By the end of the month, the goal would be that there would be 31 poems. And I've been going through each of the individual months in chronological order, so to speak, starting with, I was, the very first time I posted to the blog, and when I initiated the blog itself, and which is called ANACHRONIZMS, and that's ANACHRONIZMS with a ZMS at the end. And so the URL is .blogspot.com after that. You can follow along as I read easily, because on the right-hand side of the blog, there's every single month that I've ever written. You can just click on that link, and you can find the poems really fast. If I say, okay, I'm reading now the November 2006 poems, which is what we're up to. And then I read them. Last time I sat down, I read the November 2005 poems. So we're going through the months of November all the way up until, November 2022, theoretically, because we won't be in November 2023 by the time I get finished with this set, unless I go very, very slowly, which sometimes happens. So, welcome. Thank you for listening to me, and this is probably mostly for me, but it is also a way for me to show people. It's like my book. It's to tout this project I've been working on for a long time, which is really a very selfish project. It's about me. It's about using diaries and present day, and kind of combining these chronological moments from the past with these chronological moments from the present into one each time I write a piece. Each piece is meant to be individual, and yet there is a through line throughout, which is basically, it is autobiographical, of course, and I think that a lot of poetry, no matter what people say, is almost always, but maybe not always, I don't know. It certainly tells you something about the author, I believe. So, without further ado, there may have been something I missed in telling you that I wanted to tell you, but I continue to write these things, and like I said, we're up to over 4,000 poems now I've written, and I write them most every, you'll see one posted almost every day onto the blog. Welcome to take a look at that as well, or follow along as I'm reading. On Wednesday, November the 1st, 2006, I posted Anachronism to the blog. I posted to the blog Anachronism number 325. They're all numbered chronologically or in order, but with Roman numerals, which makes it, I don't know why I started it that way, but CCCXXV, and there, I call that the title. Often there are the real title or the subtitle or whatever in that I created, because I get tired, I love titles, but a lot of these first ones, of course, don't have titles. The title, I would always say, was the number. In quotes, truthfulness is crucial. In quote. So I enjoy Everybody Loves Raymond generously. So I have spent today $160 at Structure. Here I am. What have I missed from giving up Arkansas, where I grew up? Why do my words not echo like C.D. Wright's That Long Lost Country? She has an Arkansas connection too. Honestly, where does she live? Quote, outside Providence, quote. What largesse. After small poetry, grieve racism, then drive. Drive to Holliston, to Big Sur, into obsession. This is the table where I met him. Not much more than the silly words that are volleyed back and forth across it. We still sleep with each other on occasion. Your tall poem is hard to look at because your eyes are so beautiful.